So as you can see, we are a part of the big snowstorms. Very beautiful here. So just going around doing quick maintenance. Yeah, it's beautiful out here. I don't mind it. I don't mind the snow. What I mind is not making any energy. I want to reduce the amount of time that we have to use grid-based connections. Oh, my thumb. Switch to the other hand. All right. Because the whole goal is to get as much off grid as possible. But this is that last year where we have to rely a little bit on the grid tie. But as you can see, those ones are almost 100% clear. They did that on their own. So you can see, like, even the chicken coops fence is covered in snow. And we're supposed to get another, by this weekend, another 6 to 8 inches. So keep an eye on that. Just to, gonna have to come out and scrape the panels a little bit here, a little bit there, just to get as much solar as possible. They'll clear on their own, so it's not a big deal. But we still want to make sure that we get as much as we can cleared to get as much solar as we can take in. We have a fire pit out here, and it spontaneously combust after 6 days of not being lit. So I had to come out and dump snow on it last night during the middle of the snowstorm. So, that's a word of caution. Anybody that thinks their stuff's out, the coals can stay smoldering for weeks, and you got to be really careful. It's so beautiful out here. Got the fire going in the shop. I'm trying to get it warm so I can start working on the overlanding rig. So pretty here. So let's go talk about the parts we're going to put on the overlanding rig. Just hanging out by the fire, warming up, and then get a good fire going. That's how I heat the shop in the winter. Added the fireplace this year. It's not very big, but it's enough. Keep the door open when it's really cold. When I overnight it, obviously I shut the door and keep the damper on low, but when I'm in here, I'll keep the door open because there's nothing in front of it. It's just a concrete floor, no wood's held near it. And then I'm in here. Anytime I leave, I shut the door. Got to be careful with they explode, shoot a big chunk of coal out. Can have a bad time. So just warming up, and then I'm gonna grab the rest of the equipment I'm gonna put on. I've already done a little bit stuff that I just wanted to get out of the way quick. The stereo in my truck had been really, really bad. The guy I bought it from kind of beat up the speakers a little bit, played some stuff on it. Really loud, apparently. Destroyed all the paper speakers in it. So I just replaced all the speakers in it really quick. Just factory replacement style stuff. And then through the base navigation system and my cell phone charger and stuff, so I could set up my routes. Because when you're, one of the things I wanted to have with the overlanding setup was to make sure that the navigation side was really, really good, because one of the big things I didn't want to have to worry about is getting lost where I was going, trying to find stuff or anything. And with the GPS, you want to make sure, it's all good. And then I'm going to have LED headlights, LED fog lights, and then I've got light bars that I'm going to install on it as well so that I can light up any area around it I need to. So when I'm driving in any crazy weather or anything, you know, I can really see where I'm going. Because one of the big things with this is it'll be an overlanding rig, and then also one of my buddies does disaster relief stuff. So if I'm able to come out and help with disaster relief, it will also kind of be designed around that. People have asked me why I'm going to have such a big inverter on the truck, and that's for running a welder. I want to be able to run a basic 120 volt MIG welder, so that way if we can do repairs or anything, I'll have it with me in the truck at all times, just to make sure. It's one of the big things I was worried about was, you know, if something breaks on the truck, can I repair it on site? And welding broken metal is one of the big things that, you know, when you get stuck in the middle of nowhere, it's kind of hard to do. So having the welder on it is going to be one of my choices. You know, not every overlanding rig is going to be set up the same way. This is just something I wanted, so I didn't have to worry, you know, break a tie rod or something crazy, you know, to get myself out of a pinch, be able to weld it right back together, you know, to drive out. I'm not saying it's going to be permanent or anything, but enough to get myself out of the situation. So that was one of the big things. I know that was a question on one of the previous videos on why I needed such a big inverter. So yeah. All right. So let's take a look at the equipment that we're going to put into the overlanding rig. So first off, I have a Victron smart meter, and this is just for the temperature in the sense of the car battery at the battery. I'm doing this just so I can, if the vehicle sits too long, or you know, I'm in the back for an extended period of time, I can check and make sure that this battery isn't getting weak. And then I can, you know, do whatever I need to do to maintain it, or do, you know, switch over to something. I might have a bypass system to use the batteries in the back of the truck to help start it. But this is just one of those like quick, easy things you can add. And then here we go. So I have Renogy rigid 50 watt panels. I have 6 of them. Like I said in the first video, I think, or second video I made, I got these through the Renogy DC Home app. These were provided to me through the RAISE program from doing a bunch of research with them and helping. I was able to get free panels. Free is free. I'm going to use them. I've got them. There's no sponsorship here. They're just the panels I have. I do like them, and the reason I'm doing rigid is just because I want the stronger panel. I have a flexible panel, and I have a few of them, but I want the most amount of solar from the surface area, the flat surface area. And the flexible panels, once they're bent over a surface, it's all about direct sunlight. So if you don't have the direct sunlight, you don't get as much. So I've got these. I have 3 string combiners. So I've got this set right here, this set right here, and then here are the main cables off of the array that'll come in. And then these are going to be the ones going to the battery terminal from the inverter. So this whole setup will be on its own inverter, or sorry, charge controller. And then we'll have the other set, the ones that are on the roof of the vehicle, that will maintain this battery and possibly a second battery. I haven't decided if I'm going to put another one in here or if I'm going to do a larger battery set for this, but that will run that set, and then any excess will go over into the other setup. And then I've got 2 DC to DC 20 amp converters. The reason I have 2 is because I wanted the redundancy in case one failed while I was out in the field. I'd have the second one I could switch to. And then I have the backup camera for the equipment I put in. And then, like I said in the beginning of this video, just some crossovers for the speakers. because it's what killed the original set. And then I have the nav system in, and then the mount for the nav. And then I'm going to start putting all the holes in. I also have I have light bars. I got light bars for this, for the vehicle, just for having more light. All right. And I got these LED truck light bars. Nothing crazy. They're just, I think they were like 300 watt light bars. So this is all that's going into this rig. I'm going to start putting this in over the next week, piece by piece. I'm not going, I'm taking my time. I want to pick and choose where everything goes. The solar arrays are going to be individually liftable, so I can either pivot them right or left, so I can park the vehicle and then pivot both panels up so I can get more sun with them. And then they'll sit flat on the roof of the vehicle at all times, unless I'm, sitting. And they're all going to be connected together. So instead of drilling like 20 holes in my roof, should only have 4 total holes in the roof of the box. I just want to limit holes for leakage. I just don't want to have a bunch of random leaks or anything like that. So I'm going to get at this. Thank you everybody for watching. I know this video is a lot shorter for this week with the snowstorms and everything. I've been working just on property stuff to deal with the snow. And, like in the beginning of this video, I've had to clear the panels a couple times. And the only reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to pick up as much solar as I can right now so I can work in here. I'm just trying to get the system up a little bit more. That's the winter woes, and especially where we are, we're only getting about 4 hours of strong solar a day. The rest of it's very mediocre, and that's when it's not gray or snowy. So thank you. Keep following me. Next week's video should be the solar panel installs on the roof. And then I'm going to be using Victron charge controllers. And the reason I'm doing Victron charge controllers is because I like their application for them. I was originally going to do Renogy's charge controllers with a 1 system, but I've just seen so many issues with their app updates lately. And with Victron, I can do the VRM stuff, use my cell phone as the transmitter for the wireless, and I can have a local network in here. And this way, when I'm not near my vehicle, I can still check the solar, see if it's taking it in or anything like that. And I'm not one to, dive into company stuff, but it just seems like Renogy's been updating a lot lately in their applications that really haven't benefited the end user. And it seems like they're doing bug fixes that create more bugs. And Victron does the same thing, but their app seems to run pretty decent even through all these bug fixes. And, I run it for my primary system, and I haven't had very many issues. Now, eventually I want to go to a different system overall for all of this, for the monitoring, but for just the applications that exist right now, I'm going to try to use Victron specifically for this vehicle. And then, we'll go from there. I may update it, I may change it, but stay tuned for that. Each piece is going to be really heavily integrated. I'm going to make sure that, the vehicle's still very usable as a day-to-day vehicle. And then I can quickly just set it up in my overlanding setup really fast. So the stuff in the bed will be somewhat removable. I haven't made a decision fully on that, on what I'm going to build in the back for sleeping. I definitely want 2 spots to sleep in there in case, there's somebody with us or something like that. Or if I take my daughter on one of these trips, I want this, 2 spots. Anything else that I may do, it's just going to be picking and choosing as I'm building it. This is my first ever overlanding build. I want to just go through and piece by piece design it. You know, I don't have anything written down. As I hit something, I'm going to design it. As I hit something else, I'm going to design it. And I'm really going to go from there. So thank you, everybody, as always. I hope you're learning from this. You know, I'm learning every day. Every day I pick up, I try to do more research in what I'm doing because knowledge is power. So thank you, everybody, as always. And like and subscribe, please. It helps as we're growing. I think as of this video, I'm over 150 subscribers. It's awesome. It's grown a lot faster than I expected it to. I'm just doing this as a means to an end. You know, I just want to put out the information I'm doing. You know, anybody can do this stuff. You can, you know, pick and choose and jump into it. So thank you, everybody.